Hello everyone. Welcome to our newest edition of GeoSeries. Today's webinar is on maintaining temporal control of developing situations with rapid satellite tasking. Hopefully everything is working. You can all see me, hear me. We'll have a few great presentations today. A couple notes, first of all. We will do a live Q&A session at the end of this. I encourage you to ask questions. There is a Q&A section specifically in the taskbar down below. Please put your questions there. That's the only place that we'll monitor for questions. So we'll look at the chat for some other comments, but the chat is really just for comments. The Q&A is for questions. We'll get to every question one way or another. Some of them might have to be via text, and as many as we can, we'll do live at the end. So the topic a little bit before I introduce our speakers. Yeah, I think this is a really interesting topic. We're talking about low latency, but not just latency as far as from satellite data collection to delivery. I think we talk about this often, or the industry does, but really end-to-end latency and the flexibility with that as well. So this is something at EUSI that we've really worked towards in the past years. It is in combination with the Vantor, formerly Maxar constellation, and the capabilities that brings us. And I think what's really interesting about this is I remember about a year ago hearing on stage at a conference. I think somebody from the Canadian intelligence said, the quality of data that I need is good enough at the right time. So it's not always about resolution. It's not always about accuracy. These are really crucial specs. But timeliness is more and more important. And we're not talking about days anymore. Sometimes we're not even talking about hours. We're really starting to talk about getting insights in minutes. Today I am joined by a couple of my colleagues here at EUSI, Arnaud Durand and Anastasia Aleschina. I am also joined by Paul Kotzerke from one of our closest partners, GAF, located also here in Munich with us, and also Andrei Efimov from Vantor. So I think we really have a complete package to show this from several different perspectives. Remind you again, questions, please put in the Q&A, and I will go ahead and pass it over to Anastasia, who will get us started with a presentation on intraday collection, so collecting images multiple times throughout the day. So welcome, Anastasia.
Thank you, Matthew, and welcome everyone. I hope you can see my screen and hear me. So what I would like to talk to you about today within my section is how mid-inclined orbits, together with our operation and multi-sensor approach, enable multiple collections over the same area of interest, but throughout the day, like several times a day. And the focus is on intraday imaging, which means the ability to observe the same location more than once in one single day, rather than, as we used to, relying like on one daily fixed overpass. And I think to understand the intraday monitoring, in this case, we would need to understand the orbits and the difference and how they complement each other. So satellites in sun-synchronous orbits, they fly over the poles and maintain a constant angle relative to the sun. This basically means that the lightning conditions are quite consistent or very consistent, and the collection typically happens at a fixed, roughly the same time of the day, local time. And the mid-incline orbits, by contrast, they are positions 45 degrees inclination, which means they basically optimized for coverage over densely populated regions, like roughly 45 degrees north and 45 degrees south. And because of this orbital geometry, collection time can vary throughout the day, and rather than being fixed into one single time of collection. So this enables us actually to have a true intraday imaging. This, my slides don't really want to move as I want to. So this creates a possibility for more collection opportunities in some key regions throughout the globe between dawn and dusk. We currently, or UCI, European Space Imaging, currently task WorldView Legion satellites also emit inclined orbits and receive the downlink directly to the ground station in Munich. This offers three advantages, or three key advantages, basically, in this case. We have an intraday imaging. We can collect multiple times a day over the same AOI, ideally. We secondly have higher texture and different sun elevations, highlight different surface features, structures. Third, we have more opportunities in changing weather and can basically accommodate several situations, and that increases the likelihood, of course, of a successful collection. And especially for time-sensitive cases, this is actually key. Mid-inclined orbits, the tasking is available, as I said, from dusk till dawn. So sun elevation basically plays a significant role in how imagery appears and how features can be interpreted. So at a lower sun angle, that produces a longer shadow and different surface contrast, while higher sun angles create more illumination. We have an examples which are running too fast. In this case, over Libya, we're going to be looking at it more detailed, where you see exactly this different in detail. So when we start in early morning, 5:02 UTC, this is a very low sun over the horizon, means light conditions are quite low, and that will be mitigated with a wider dynamic range. But however, so what we see is we have long western shadows, we have bluish or golden hue. It depends on the weather conditions. We see reduced glint on level surfaces like building roofs in this image, and higher texture on ground and vegetation. This can be very useful to identify things like vehicle tracks, for example. Around an hour later, this is what we see. You can see the difference. This is later in the morning. The lightning becomes more even, and it resembles sun synchronous imagery. And at this stage, we can leverage sun azimuth to minimize glint and optimize the image quality once more. Early morning, later morning, and we jump to around noon. And you see around the midday, the illumination is very even. This is like the closest actually to what users are familiar with sun synchronous orbits imagery. And as this progresses, the shadow move, allowing the clear sight into typically shadowed areas that you usually don't see. And that is very useful for shadow masking in maps or 3D models, actually. We're going back to late afternoon. Sun elevation, you can see, produces elongated shadow, but rather being a limitation, like you see that this actually can provide a more holistic picture. Holistic view of the scene, revealing the height differences. It can reveal object shapes, can reveal structural details. And yeah, you just see less under the high sun, also all these details. And similar to early morning, but in this case, opposite shadow direction, this allows you to complete a picture, especially in complicated use cases. Which brings us to the shadow analysis. And many of you might know that shadow analysis is actually quite a big part of imagery intelligence. This case shows us port of Izmir. And yeah, let's just go through it. You see the insight that is actually offering. This is very nice. Starting with 8:55 UTC, right? We see the vessel, MS Lyrica. This is observed between berth 4 and 5. We're going around an hour later, 9:38. And what we see is the vessel remains in the same place as expected, but as an added bonus, you now see from the opposite angle, giving us a very comprehensive view of both port and starboard side of the ship. And jumping to 1390 UTC, just around 4 hours later. What you see is the ship has left. And this is also consistent with AIS records. So basically, this shows how multiple same-day collections can confirm movement. It can show you the departure or operational status of assets in ports. For example, what you can also do is the multi-sensor approach. If we want to have this information at night, we could add SAR data and add the sensor and combine this. So what you see here is showing us France, Miramas, which I guess my pronunciation not really gives it the right touch. However, you see that this is 2 collections within 1 day. It's between 8:15 and 10:55 UTC. And you see how the intraday monitoring can track. This is probably where you can see better change. And you see how short the time intervals can be and how crucial things you can see. You can see the arrival of departure of several wagons. You can see some open wagons, possibly carrying iron or some kind of, I don't know, aggregate material. So there is several applications you can imagine actually for this. This could be energy, mining facilities, it could be logistics intelligent, you name it. Looking at this, changes don't often happen over hours. What you see here is Portuguese wildfire in August, and you see drastic changes within only 35 minutes span. And this implication actually is tracking ongoing emergency hour by hour and keeping the most accurate maps. They cannot be understated. And again, these images are collected 35 minutes apart. I guess I don't need to highlight how flexible meotasking can support very, very rapid observation in such crucial cases like here. Lastly, I mentioned it before, we can combine several sensors. We can to overcome cloud cover, to overcome darkness. In this regard, you see the combination of SAR data and optical data. We have 30 centimeters optical data and 25 SAR data. And what you see is the storm, Harry, in Sardinia. And you see the multiple collections that were made across different days and times, including both daytimes and nighttime. I think that's a good demonstration of the multi-sensor approach to this. And yeah, I think it's particularly valuable, especially in these situations. And overall, I would say mid-inclined orbits fundamentally changed how we think about satellite imagery and its application and monitoring itself. Because instead of one snapshot per day, right? We gain temporal access. We have richness. We have multiple views under different lighting at different times, different conditions. I think what I would like to emphasize, maybe as we're getting to the end, is that intraday imaging does not replace traditional sun synchronous orbit data. It complements it. And this is a very fantastic, powerful tool as a dynamic layer between it and responsive layer of observation. And for EUSI users in this regard, I think situational awareness is one of the most needed features, and of course have higher confidence and more interpretation, more flexibility for time critical operations. And I'm hoping we're going to get very, very far with this and can solve many use cases for our customers and future customers. And with this, I'm giving back to Matthew. Thank you.
Great, Anastasia. Yeah, thank you. I think this is one of the really sort of fascinating aspects of the of our talk today, is really this increased flexibility, this ability to collect throughout the day. When we first started tasking the Legion satellites, and started doing these low sun elevation tests, that was really quite fascinating to see. I was really surprised, not only how high quality the images were. I expected them okay, low light. They're really not going to be great, and that's always going to be a possibility. You know, cloudy day, low light, probably going to be a bit of a dark blue image. But when you really kind of have this golden hour, and you get, like you showed in the example, the different textures. The first thing that caught my eye was, okay, you have dirt, the ability to really see from the side, maybe tracks through dirt, or let's say you're doing vegetation analysis, just getting more texture on low-lying or sometimes homogeneous seeming areas. So yeah, I really like to see more of that coming in the future. So next we're going to hop over to Arnaud. And he is taking it from flexibility. I guess it's still flexibility centralized, but and about speed. So talking about speed before ordering and after. So sort of that end-to-end low latency, as I mentioned. So Arnaud, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Yes, I will present you what can we offer in terms of short turnaround time for tasking orders. So I'm sharing my presentation. Here we are. So the turnaround time of tasking order revolves around two critical parameters. The first time is the cutoff time or the lead time, depending. It's the time until when you can place an order when we have a pass. Beyond that time, it's not possible because it's too late for us to wrap up the tasking plan and to uplink to the satellite. So in that case, we offer at best 30 minutes before the pass. And the second critical parameter is the delivery time that we count from imaging stop time to delivery on customer premises. And in that case, we can offer at best 15 minutes after collection. This backed by commercial agreement and service level agreement. Depending on the need, we have different categories. It can be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours. And that is made possible by using our ground station. Here we have a picture of the antenna, which is based at the DLR, the German Space Agency, just outside of Munich. All this is available through our web platform that's called Atom. I will come to it, but first I wanted to show you what is the footprint of our ground station. So within that area, we are able to receive last-minute tasking orders and perform near real-time deliveries. Okay, if you have tasking orders outside of this area with specific SLA, and those are diverted on Vantor ground segment, and my colleague Andrei from Vantor will present how they handle those kinds of emergency orders on their side. What we can offer today is actually the result of 15 years of development, investment, innovation in tasking capabilities. And we started around 2012 by offering 3 hours NRT to our customers on a contractual basis. Back then, this was with 50 centimeter images with GeoEye, with WorldView 2. Then came WorldView 3, and we continuously upgraded our ground station. In 2015, it was a drastic change because one of our main customer, EMSA, the European Maritime Safety Agency, had a requirement for 45 minutes delivery time after collection. We complied with that. In 2017, we did a major upgrade of our ground station to comply with another of the requirement, which was 30 minutes after delivery. And we continued the work with them. We had another upgrade in 2023 that allow us to produce multiple images under 15 minutes, and that upgrade was mostly related to the processing power that transformed the downlink signal and the level 1 image into a product that is ingestible at customer premises. So what we can offer today is top-notch because of this experience also that we developed in terms of workflows and commitment that we offer. So some example. This one is an image of a wildfire that happened in 2024 of Attica in Greece, and we've been tasked in the framework of the Copernicus Emergency Management Service for the rapid mapping component. And in that case, we received the order. It was the 12th of August in the morning, and we captured the image the day after at 9:31. And the image was delivered 14 minutes after collection. So here we see the village in the middle. It's really surrounded by the burn scar. And it was actually a huge fire. So that's the image. The swath of the satellite is 11 kilometers. So that gives you an overview of how large this forest fire was, and it was completely surrounding the villages. So the MS Copernicus service derived a map. So we see here one of those maps showing the extent of the fire, and they also have requirements in terms of delivery time. So once they receive the image from us, they have to deliver those maps in a very, very short time. So we see here one of those maps, and using multiple images during the event, then they're able also to release the impact on the infrastructure and the impact on the land cover. And they publish that. So you can have a look on the website, and for each activation of the service, we see all those statistics. So, for example, in that case, the extent of the fire was more than 10,000 hectares, with more than 1,200 buildings affected. Another example, last year during the summer, for a major forest fire that happened in the south of France. And this one was delivered in the context of a service that's called Firewatch. And this service is proposed to the French government by our partners GEOSeries and Certit. And in that case, they had an order on the 9th of July that was placed through Atom at 10:25. and the image was collected 85 minutes after, at 11:50, and the image was delivered 23 minutes after collection. And that forest fire was major, and actually it was cutting through a major highway and major railway that's connecting Marseille to its airport. So every order can be placed through our tasking system that's called the Atom. Atom is the front end that allows you through your web browser to place tasking orders and archive orders. That platform is powered by an API that is called Tara, and that we also offer for more advanced user who wants to integrate our capability through their systems. So through Atom, we see some screenshots here. You can do catalog search throughout the whole Vantor catalog. You can set filters, place those orders with the parameters for image collections. For archive, images are delivered a few minutes after order placement. And tool propose advanced tasking options. So all the tasking go through the platform, and we will see an example from that. So that tool is completely connected to our ground segment and subsequent Vantor's ground segment for global operations. We have a program that is called RSINT for Rapid Satellite Intelligence Program that we propose to users who need more advanced capabilities in one hand, but who needs also contractual commitments on our side for delivery timelines. So we offer that through this program. So not only the commitments in terms of tasking cutoff, delivery timeline, but we will also offer more advanced tasking capability through Atom and through Tara to those users regarding tasking constraints, for example, pass availability, delivery formats, a specific workflow, and also providing a support for order handling, order management, and also for integration of the API through the systems of our users. So here we have a video of a tasking process that's been done this morning through Atom for a collection. So we'll go through the video and I will comment what we've done. Basically, what you can do also if you have access to Atom. So here we choose the location. It's Melilla in North Africa. So we first draw the AOI, go to the tasking mode of Atom, choose the bands. In that case, 4 bands bundle. So here we choose a 1-day collection window. So that's for today, and here we adjust the time to be sure we select passes that are after our cutoff time. Yeah, otherwise that wouldn't physically be possible for the ground segment to integrate the tasking order. 50 centimeter for the resolution, so we leverage all the constellation. And then now we enter a phase that's called feasibility study. The feasibility study takes into account the orbital mechanics, the satellites that are coming over, several risk factors and conflict factors, as well as the weather, and gives a likelihood of collection. So in that case, it's 99% with multiple passes available throughout the day. In the framework of the RSINT program, and you have advanced information about the passes. Here the user shows it was 10:16 UTC this morning, and those passes are right after. And it's possible through the advanced capabilities to show the geometry of the pass. So here this is what we see. So we see the ground track here. Not too far from the target. So in case this pass is executed, the off-nadir angle will be really low. We choose the delivery option, NRT 15 minutes, a couple of production parameters, including the end user information, That's for due diligence, but everything is set up in advance. A suborder reference that's left at discretion of the user. That tasking orders goes to the shopping cart, and then you have to place the order. So the user enters the name of the order and eventually internal reference number, delivery site, if any. We support push or pull deliveries, S3 bucket, FTP, and then the order is ingested. Once the order is ingested, it goes through the order management system where we see the status. So we can see here the status of this last order as submitted. We can also see that other previous orders have been completed. Yeah. This order, after submission, submission at 10:17 this morning, the pass on which this tasking order has been executed was a WorldView 3 pass at 10:51, so 34 minutes after the order placement, and the image was delivered in 10 minutes after collection, so 11 at 11 this morning. We can see here all the subsequent status for the image from quoted, active processing, delivery complete. That offers the user at all time the knowledge on what's the status of the order. So that is directly a screenshot from Atom. Yes. So some of you already have an account. Some not. If you're interested to get demo or training, and don't hesitate to contact us. We can accommodate this, and we can show you the platform during a live demonstration. This was my last slide, so I will give the floor back to Matthew.
So thank you, Arnaud. I think, yeah, great demonstration. I should know I recorded that video this morning, placing that tasking
Great job, Matthew.
that tasking order in Atom. We didn't have enough to do already. Planning a webinar, felt like we needed to do a screen recording just this morning for a good test. But as you can see, I mean, it goes quite quickly. I mean, that video is 2 minutes long, maybe, of placing a tasking order. So yeah, really not that much trouble at all. I really can't express enough, at least from my point of view, how sort of important and a little bit groundbreaking this is what you've just demonstrated. I mean, like I said at the beginning, we're not talking about insights in days or even hours. I mean, that's less than 1 hour from the time you need an image to the time you have it. Of course, there's not always a satellite just over every AOI waiting for your uplink. So of course, this comes down to timing, a little bit of luck, everything as well. However, with the extent of the constellation, there are, as we saw with some of Anastasia's graphics and slides earlier, there are passes constantly throughout the day from morning until evening. So maybe there's not always one 30 minutes away, but probably within the next couple hours, there's going to be one. So yeah, I think really excited to see where we keep going in terms of speed with not just the delivery, but yeah, placing the orders as well. And I think Arnaud mentioned, as far as the Atom platform, that was definitely not a comprehensive demonstration of it. So yeah, please contact us, write us, find us somehow. Happy to share the links and give you a demonstration. Next, we're going to talk to Paul from GAF. So Arnaud already shared an example, I believe, that was delivered to Copernicus Emergency Management Services. And Paul's going to be able to expand on that quite a bit as GAF manages the rapid response desk with Copernicus. So yeah, Paul, if you would like to take it away.
Yes, thank you, Matthew, for the warm introduction. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kotzerke. I'm with GAF for 12 years, or since 12 years. I was responsible work package manager for the CCME onboarding over the last 2.5 years for the EUSI RD service. And after we saw the functionality of Atom within the EUSI platform itself, I will introduce you to the RD, where this or the functionalities of the Atom platform are available for the user in the framework of the RD. So I will start with a short RD introduction at first, because I think this is not familiar to any one of you or every one of you. And the three main pillars are, on the one side, the users. On the right side, we have the data providers. And the rapid response tests designed together from GAF and ESA are the connection between the user demands and the data providers offers. So on the left side, who can access the data? So we have two different options for the user to ask for. So the one is the download option for the rolling archive data. Introduction on this one, rolling archive. All the data sets ordered in the use of the RD will be provided to the rolling archive over the time span of at least 6 months in the past, except security orders. But everything else will be found for all the users. See by the check mark, eligible to access the rolling archive and direct downloading the data sets. For the ordering of archive and tasking satellites or tasking orders by the CCME itself, so we have only two groups, Copernicus services and in-union institutional users, and union research projects who are eligible to order this on its own or use USD assisted. So the demand and the offer. So the demand is for the main groups. We see it on the left side: emergency users, security services, land services, atmospheric or marine services. So there are designed different use cases are designed from ESA and the RD to I think fulfill all the wishes of the users in this case. So we have access to archive data about single direct tasking up to multiple parallel tasking, and assisted standard tasking, also high priority tasking. So where we see the need of providers like EUSI, who offers a very fast delivery or near real-time delivery. So we have right now, this is up to date, so 3 different domains for the user to choose for or ask for. So on the one hand, this is optical data providers. We have radar data providers and atmospheric data providers. Over the next years, I think we will extend the list by some new providers and also hopefully by some new domains. The RD interfaces. So for the Copernicus users, he is granting the access to the world of the RD by using the RD service portal. So we have different opportunities to inform himself about the services, about the offers of the different CCMEs. And he will also have the access to, like on the second point, the Copernicus RD browser, where it's possible to him to make his analysis, his search functionalities on its own. The ordering functionality is granted due to the order management system and a public API. So here we have the connection between the user and the user support desk, so in short letters USD. And here you have a comprehensive order management system where you see his orders, can manage his orders, see the data deliveries, can download the data after the delivery. So it's the overall information board for the users itself. On the right side, we have for complex, so I will have a later slide on this one. For the complex orders, the RD interface is connected to Savoir, a software tool by the company of Titus. And we have also RD plugin, which is completely handled by the user support desk to assist the users on different or extensive wishes and demands on the order. So this is the Copernicus browser visualized. So we have, it's a normal browser. I think it looks very familiar to everyone. We have on the left side some search functionalities. All different data providers are listed from the 3 domains: optical, radar, atmospheric. And he's able to draw an AI to search for. And this search, you see it on the left side, is divided into archive and tasking. And on this one, I go a little bit more into detail. For the archive data ordering. So the user has direct access to the CCME archives and also to the rolling archive using the browser. So there's a direct to connection. So therefore it's an EUSI webinar. I took EUSI as example. He can select the different EUSI satellites, WorldView 1, 3, and also the Legions constellation is already available. And then he's searching for an AOI, puts up his time window he wants to search for, and then he get on the fly immediately archive data results. So on the top, you see here blue-printed or blue-colored. These are the CCME archive results. And down here in green, this is the rolling archive results. So every of these items is connected to a quick look of the image itself, so that the user can make a pre-analysis about the data frame or data scene he searched for. And if you want to order this one for the rolling archive as introduced, is just put it to the cart, and then you have direct access to download. For the archive data, you can also put it to the cart, and then you have to check out to the order management system. And then after a couple of minutes, the data will be delivered directly from EUSI to the OMS and is available for download to the user. But in this webinar, we are talking about the on-demand tasking ordering. So for the simple use cases, it's a user self-service tasking request available into the browser. So same procedure as for the archive search, with a small difference on EUSI side. So we have not the option to search for the single satellites, because EUSI is working with the EUSI constellation. So all possible satellites EUSI is offering are available to select by one button. And the user will receive on-the-fly feasibility results due to the comprehensive amount of satellites or in the constellation and possibilities of the order. Sometimes it's took up to 1 or 2 minutes, but then the most time the data is available or the feasibility is available just within seconds. So, and then the user have detailed information about his orders. He can check for, like the ID, he knows about the constellation and platform used. The instrument is given which spectral band resolution is offered. The final resolution is given, sensing start end is given, AOI coverage, cloud coverage, selected incidence angle he can filter for before the search, and also sun elevation. So a lot of information returned from EUSI are presented within the RD browser. So the same procedure, he can put this to the cart, and then we will wait for EUSI to make the acquisition and give the download availability with the RD interfaces. The user support desk was created to handle complex orders and order wishes on the user side. It's monitoring of orders to completion. So on the right side, you see some screenshots from the support tool. On the left bottom, you see all the small lines are different opportunities from a provider to task for, and this one is therefore it's handled by the user support team, and it's just of the pure amount of data availability, because it's not only EUSI which is available using the RD, it's about, I showed you 10 different CCMEs at the same time, which needs to be handled, and therefore thankfully we have the user support desk available within this project. It's also there for handling of contingencies and issue management. If sometimes the user has a problem that the data was not successfully ingested and is not available, then the user support desk becomes active and help the users to fulfill the order and gets this data. Also, it's assisting users in completing orders during the backup procedures. So therefore, the offers are so complex from the different CCMEs. Some of these orderings we have to handle by manual procedures, and this is also be done by the user support desk. So the user, if he has a wish for, I think it's interferometry right now, so he can ask the USD to help him with interferometry ordering questions, and the USD is doing all the stuff and all the work for the user. So some facts and figures about, so this is, I think, nearly 1 month old, but right now the registered user number is about 346 by 4,400 fulfilled requests until 15th of January 2026. As Arnaud already mentioned, we had a peak of activity in summer 25 due to the fire incidents and a lot of orderings from the Copernicus emergency services for fire. So 300 fulfilled data requests based on 27 activations and large activation for earthquake in Guatemala. And this was peak season in summer, so it was more or less like a stress test for the RD, and I think it was fulfilled for the customer's appreciation on this one. So this was enough from the RD itself. So now I have some examples from using RD action. So we got the wildfire in Campania, Italy. So we see an order was placed at 5:30 in the morning of the 10th of August. Data collection was done by EUSI at 9 after 10. and only after nearly 30 minutes, the data was already delivered. So from the order placement up to the data delivery to the RD interface, it was just about 5 hours and 3 minutes, so very fast. And we get a little bit faster, or the tropical cyclone Melissa in the Caribbean. We got 65 minutes between data collection and delivery. As an example, brand new examples from the Olympic Winter Games, thanks to my colleague Stefan, who provided me these informations last days. We got 26 minutes between the data collection and the data delivery. So you see, Arnaud mentioned EUSI want to go in 26 up to 15 minutes for near real-time deliveries. And we also achieved this one still in last year. So with one data collection on the 25th of June in the morning, within 14 minutes after data collection, data was already delivered through the RD interface, already ingested into the rolling archive, and therefore already available also for all the other users in the RD universe. So this is very good to see, very good work from UC colleagues on this end. And just that you don't see, this is just happens 2 times in a year. So this was a list created over the last year from November 24 up to November 25. In green highlighted, so you see the acquisitions or availabilities after collection under 15 minutes. So all the other ones are below 30 minutes. And you also see 2 acquisitions made for security users were made under 10 minutes. So after 8 minutes after the collection, the data was already available to the user for use. So this is a small overview. And we as GAF, we also need this quick information or this quick data delivery, because we are offering on our end, as example for you, what companies do with this data is on the GAF side, we have a rapid DEM creation. So we have also the demands of very fast production. Therefore, we need very fast data deliveries. So with the fast data deliveries, we can guarantee DSM creation after below 24 hours after the image availability. So we have automatic editing below 200 square kilometers and full flexible resolution. So either it's 30 or 50 centimeters, we can take all the UC data in our workload and create some elevation models like you see here on the right side. So this was created by, I think, 3 or 5 images needed. So we can tailor the customer's needs and could also put up additional quality layers to see that the customer needs are fulfilled on every level, on every stage. We are continuous working on further development on this one, and also happy to see USI providing more or less every year a new satellite and new constellations. And so we are happy to see about Legion 5 and Legion 6 what will come to us, and that we have new opportunities even for us to extend our workload on GAF side. So I hope it was a little bit fast enough to save everyone's time, and I thank you for your time. Thank you for UC to let us be part of your webinar, and that's it for now.
Yeah, great stuff, Paul. I think it's really nice to see the examples, and also you presented that table to show that it's not just an exception. It's not just something that happens once or twice. GAF, by means of the RRD and Copernicus, were one of the early adopters of Atom, for better or for worse. I'm sure there were some growing pains in the early days, but now these days it runs quite smoothly, I would say, and it's really been a great partnership. And I think it's important to see these real world examples that it's not just Arnaud and Anastasia and myself on screens, spitting a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, it's good to see that it's really functioning. So what we've presented a bit so far, especially you may have seen in Arnaud's presentation, this graphic of our operational cone that covers Europe and North Africa. So the capabilities we've presented are very well developed within that cone for our customers and users. But luckily, we are very tied into the Vantor infrastructure as well. So we're going to hear from Andrei a bit what's happening when collections are scheduled outside of our cone. How is Vantor expanding low latency globally for the customers within Europe?
Thank you, Matthew, and good afternoon, everyone. So, what I want to show you today and what I want to talk about is WorldView 2D, which is Vantor's worldwide commercial tasking program. So, I want to emphasize two words here. One is commercial, and the second is global or worldwide. Because in general, Vantor has two main types of customers. The first one is our access customers and partners. The most important, I would say, at least in Europe, being EUSI for us. And then we have commercial customers, yeah, which access and task our satellites on commercial basis. While our access customers, like EUSI, can offer unparalleled SLAs inside their region, what if you, as a commercial customer, you need to task for imagery outside of such a region? Exactly as Matthew said, then Vantor can help with that by using the WorldView 2D product or program. Hopefully my presentation, will comply. So how do we do that, or what is supporting the WorldView 2D program is the concept of one unified Vantor constellation. So as most of you probably know, we have 4 legacy satellites for many years, and now we have another 6 WorldView Legion satellites. And all of these satellites function as a one unified constellation, meaning that the customer does not need to select what satellite they want to use. They just need to provide what are their requirements and specifications for the collection, and our agnostic scheduling system will automatically select what is the best satellite to complete that particular tasking order. What is the result of this unified approach is that today the fulfillment rates of all collections worldwide are twice as good as they were 1 year ago. Now, coming to the practical options for tasking, we are offering a number of different options. The first one is called FlexView. That is, if you want the basic priority or the basic offer, it's also, as the name says, the most flexible, where customers can customize all the parameters of the collection. Then we have an upper tier called Best View. It's going to be released very soon, this one. And that practically, put it in a nutshell, means we do 3 attempts in 7 days or even 6 days to collect the best cloud-free imagery for you. And the higher or the highest tier of priority for commercial tasking is called Fast View, and that basically means a guaranteed collection in 24 hours. If we go a little deep in what each of the different tiers offer, so Flex View, as I said, is the most flexible offer that we have. So practically customers can choose an AOI as small as 25 square kilometers and as big as 10,000 square kilometers. Yeah. They can select their window for collection. It can be from 24 hours to 365 days. They can select whatever parameters they want, like maximum cloud cover that can be accepted, of nadir angle, GSD, and so on. And Maxar will collect on those parameters. Yeah? We will perform a feasibility, of course, and inform the customer if the collection window duration that he has chosen is feasible, or suggest a different collection window duration or other parameters to be changed. So that's the standard tier for tasking with Vantor. I will not talk too much now about best view, because it's better to have it already released to have the actual parameters and SLAs for it. But I will focus on fast view, which I already said it's a guaranteed shot in 24 hours or on another day that you selected, regardless of the weather. And practically the parameters here are 24 hours, yeah, for collection, guaranteed. It can be placed 8 hours, so the cutoff time before the satellite pass is 8 hours. Yeah? And it will provide an upfront validation, meaning that immediately that you enter your parameter, the system will tell you if your order has been accepted, and if it was accepted in 24 hours, there is a guaranteed delivery. And finally, I will be short, just show you a few examples of what FastView can do. I personally work more with defense and intelligence customers, so I prepared some example from this area. So one, it's about December 17th, when SBU of Ukraine reported striking a submarine in the Novorossiysk Russian base on the Black Sea. The next day, one of our customers put a FastView tasking request in the afternoon. Next morning, Legion 6 image was collected, and less than 1 hour after collection, it was delivered to the customer. And I think the imagery speaks for itself. You can see in the image the results, the impact of the drone attack on the pier, and also the submarine, with a very important finding, the fact that immediately after the hit, it was venting, can be air or some other kind of liquid, which was an indication that the submarine was damaged. And that was, of course, afterwards confirmed by the fact that we have dozens of collections since then, and the submarine never moved from its initial location. And the second example I want to show you is very close to the first one, also in the Novorossiysk area, where in November, again, SBU reported hitting an S-400 site. Again, one of our customers, so the attack was on November 14th. We got the same date, later the same date, we got a request from one of our customers to confirm the results of the attack for a battle damage assessment. We collected early in the next morning, but unfortunately, with FastView, but unfortunately the image was 100% cloud covered. So the customer came back with a new fast view order a couple of days later when the weather improved in the area. And we collected again next morning. And again, the results, the image results speak from themselves. We have on the left an initial image before the attack, where you can clearly see the S400 batteries and the S400 radar. And in the image that we collected on customer demand using FastView, you could see that all but one of the S400 launchers were destroyed, and also the radar is no longer present in the image. So that was what I wanted to show you and remind today, that WorldView 2D is the product that can offer you global commercial tasking. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrei. Yeah, I think this is great to see that we're not only presenting the capabilities within the EUSI cone, but yeah, nice to see that Vantor is able to extend similar capabilities, keeping the timeline within a day or next day at the very least for rapid insights. So what we'll do is quickly jump into a live Q&A session with all of our speakers. So if we all want to hop on here, I'll just remind the speakers when you're not answering, maybe just keep your microphone on mute so we don't have some strange interference anywhere. So yeah, I've pulled a couple questions out of the Q&A section and also just formed a few of my own that I was interested in. Anastasia, if you don't mind, I will start with you. It's been a while since you've spoken, so you've had the most time to relax now. So you presented mid-inclined orbits, the intraday collection capabilities. The examples that you presented are great. Obviously, we already saw some good applications. Could we maybe imagine a little bit what other applications could benefit from these capabilities? You know, we saw that obviously they are most impactful in the Southern European or Mediterranean latitudes. So yeah, what else could we imagine for mid-inclined capabilities?
Thank you, Matthew. I feel like back then in school because my both name, surname, and name starts with an A. I was always the first one.
First.
To step forward. To be fair, the application and use cases will be more or less endless because there's always something that will appear from that, how to make use of it. What I can be thinking of spontaneously, remember we looked at Portugal, the fires. But if we look, for example, around the, I don't know, Black Sea region, maybe, where there's clouds, that could be a very good tool to mitigate the clouds, you know, to actually get around the weather, to have better time series. And what I'm thinking about now is actually situations like, unfortunately, happened in Turkey for the earthquake. And I think disaster response, well, disaster monitoring, first of all, with like really tight time series and yeah, disaster management and mitigation. I think this could be one of great applications. But as I said, apart from this is there's endless use cases you can look at, from utilities to disaster management to DNI and I don't know if this kind of answers the question, but whoever had this question, just write us. We can, you know, deep dive a little.
Yeah. No, I'll be interested to see, you know, these are relatively new capabilities developed more and more. So I'll be interested to see over the coming months and years what type of use cases we're actually seeing. So I'll keep it in order here actually, and I'll go to Arnaud. So yeah, we presented some very impressive things here. Uh, but I know that there's a few skeptics in the audience as well.
Always,
I've seen a few questions.
always.
So in the spirit of full transparency, how off the shelf are the solutions that we've seen here today? For example, can an audience member just hop into Atom right now and
Okay.
have three newly tasked images in the next hour or so? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I know many people would like this. So actually, first, having an Atom account, once you signed up, then it would take approximately 24 hours for us to go through the due diligence process and grant you the tasking and archive ordering rights. Those are under the standard SLA, which is 24 hours delivery after collection. So we presented three critical capabilities. Today, there is the short cutoff time, the short delivery time, and the intraday capabilities. For the short cutoff time, yes, this is off the shelf in Atom. We have an agreement on a contractual agreement on high priority tasking that is immediately available. NRT, that is the same. We have to agree on an SLA to be sure that we can offer what we commit to without impeding service for other customers, because we are limited by the throughput of the ground station. So that's why we have to understand your needs and your region and your volume of order and so on before being ready to commit. So there is a phase where we need to discuss two things. Apart from that, the functionality is completely integrated within Atom. So once we have an agreement that is available, intraday collection is not yet available into Atom. We're working on it. It's a relatively new capability that is available through our ordering desk. So we're working on the workflow. It's on the roadmap. That will be available this year for sure through Atom. For customers who place orders via our customer support, then they would provide feasibility study and study the orbit and make that proposition. So a human is still in the loop as for now.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's important to mention, and even if, for example, the intraday, if it's not immediately available as a click and forget option at the moment in Atom, the fact that it is still capable manually and quickly being developed in this automated process. And I really commend all of the speakers today for having examples. I think it really helps. We didn't just have slides. All four of you came prepared with examples. So that was great. Paul, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you something about the rapid response desk. So it's the RRD supports time critical operations. So what's happening behind the scenes when to make sure service remains reliable if something goes down, something unexpected happens, an API goes down or something. What's happening to ensure delivery still?
So if something on the CCME side went wrong, then the CCME has to solve it. But I can speak for the RD if we have a lack of functionality on RD side. So we call this backup procedures just simply, and we have agreed backup procedures with all the CCMEs just in case there's something wrong on the RD side that we can guarantee that the users will have the same service as the service is alive. So for EUSI, EUSI granted us direct access to the Atom portal, so it's the easiest solution for everyone. So as you presented, it's easy to handle, and for the user support, this is easy to handle. So for EUSI we took direct access, and for the other ones we also have or similar or yeah, more or less the same solution found. Yeah, but this is so for every plan A, the nominal procedures, we have a backup procedures.
Yeah, good to know. So yeah, there's I guess as with everything these days, we still need sort of manual intervention when automation fails us, right? So
Yes, correctly.
yeah.
So
But I mean, this
automation,
is
that's
honestly, it's good to have. I see this as an advantage. No matter how complex or how simple an application, an API, or a tool might be, we've all experienced technical issues. Having a manual process, a real person to call, a real project manager, real customer support to deal with is, I think, actually an advantage this day and age. So,
yes, so business is
um,
not only RD related. So we got this also
yeah,
in I say business or normal gov business life. So that
yeah,
we already are still in contact every day, more or less, with your colleagues to all the data. If we have a replacement of the data, or we found an anomaly in the data set. So I think it will never
yeah,
work without manual intervention on any level of the ordering process or delivery process at all.
yeah, I agree. Cool, thank you. Andre, I'll call you up for a question now. So, you've presented the fast view. How is Vantor guaranteeing fulfillment of fast view orders in these 24-hour windows? When I think, admittedly, historically, there's been questions and problems fulfilling certain types of tasking requests in certain locations around the world. So yeah, what are the guarantees at the moment?
Well, very good question. And yes, we need to admit that if you would have asked Vantor, I don't know, 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, to collect in 24 hours an image for you in certain parts of the world, like Eastern Europe or Middle East, or the fulfillment rates were not great. But now they are, and that's mainly due to two reasons. One is, of course, capacity. Now, with 10 satellites, both in SSO and mid inclination orbits, we have a tremendous capacity, 3 times more than any other provider. Yeah. And the second one, it's a decision that was made to bifurcate the constellation. That means that two of our satellites, Legion 3 and Legion 6, which work in a pair, are especially kept for this fast view offer. So that offers dedicated capacity for this specific offer. And like as a result, on all types of WorldView tasking commercial order, today we are at an 88% fulfillment rate, while on fast view, which is guaranteed in 24 hours, it's of course 100% fulfillment rate once the order was accepted by the system.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think it's an important point also to mention that oftentimes we just hear the technical specifications or capabilities of a constellation of a system, and we don't actually think about the workflows and the behind the scenes sort of intangible requirements to really fulfill or achieve the extent of these capabilities. So. I think it's important work, like you said. It's not just that the satellites were launched and instantly this capability is possible. You needed to reserve space, create workflows. It's very much what EUSI has had to do for what we've presented today. It's 75% of it is probably internal workflows compared to just the engineering marvel orbiting in space. So. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think we hit on most of the bigger questions. There's a couple more that are sneaking through in the chat, but I won't keep us any longer. I will make sure that we get all of those answered in the chat, so you will get an answer one way or the other. I want to thank all of the speakers, Paul, Anastasia, Arnaud, and Andrei. I want to thank Gaf and Vantor for participating. The work that the EUSI team has done, the operations team and customer support in actually developing these workflows, as we've talked about, that we could actually present today. And thank the audience for the great engagement, great questions, great comments. Please reach out to EUSI for any other questions you have. Like we said, if you're interested in Atom, we'd be happy to give you a demo and really show you what is possible. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.